Here's what I learned in running my most recent online event, Grow and Profit Online. This was an online summit that I did where I worked with about 25 to 26 experts on building out an online event. Some people call them summits. They used to be called telesummits. Some people call them online workshops. Whatever it is that you want to call them, I call them summits. I've been doing summits since about 2013. I've done over 300 of them with my clients. I've produced them, so you could call me a summit producer in some circles, or you could say that I am a summit manager or a summit strategist. They're all interchangeable at this point, but the basic thing is I've done a lot of summits. So I'm going to share with you the things that I've learned as a result of doing my most recent one so that you can use them in your next online event. So I had about 26 experts on my event, and that included me. I wanted to make sure that I was in my own event, and so should you. You should absolutely 100% be in your own event, meaning you do an interview in your own event. I styled my summit a little bit differently, where I didn't want interviews per se. I wanted presentations. I wanted no fluff, very interesting, dynamic, get to the point, give me your 5-step systematic process to achieve A, B, C, and X, Y, Z. And that's how I wanted to run it. I didn't want to have people where I'd have to interview and they didn't come prepared. I wanted my experts to do a little extra work just to make sure that it was really niched in. And I will tell you that by getting them to do that little extra bit of work, they were actually a little bit more vested in what I was doing. Additionally, I broke down my summit into 3 days. Day 1 was generating leads. Day 2 was engaging those leads. And day 3 was the monetization of those leads. And each expert fit one of those buckets and they fit into those days. If it didn't fit, they weren't in it. I also want to make sure that you understand about the planning of this. Yes, a lot of people say that you can plan a summit in 90 days. I don't recommend it because 90 days is a pretty tight schedule. Also, if you're trying to get some big names on your event, it's almost impossible to get somebody with a big name to say yes to something that is going to happen within about 50 days of where they are right now, because they've usually planned out their schedules and all of their stuff way far in advance. I gave myself 5 months. And in 5 months, I was able to get some pretty big names to say yes to my event, and I had zero problems getting enough speakers. In actual fact, I had all of my speakers lined up and ready to go a month before I even needed to worry about interviewing them. And because I launched in April of 2021, I had all of my speakers lined up in February, which was when I started to record. I had all of my recordings done by April the 1st, minus 3 speakers, which was a huge deal for me, which meant I didn't have to worry about editing and getting all my interviews and my sessions ready ahead of time. They were all nicely done and it wasn't such a rush. In the past, I run that date right up until launch, and it has been an incredibly stressful piece for me. And I wasn't going to do it this time. The next thing up is promo. A lot of people know that when you're promoting any type of webinar or online event, that the majority of people register in the week or even the 72 hours leading up to the event. And trust me, it will give you a heart attack worrying and wondering if people are going to actually promote and participate and register. It's a little bit of a crazy thing. But what I will tell you is the longer the promo period, the better. So even though we know that a lot of your people won't actually register until right before, my promo period was 3 weeks. 3-week promo period. And the reason I did that is I wanted enough time to deal with some of the issues that naturally come up with experts. A lot of experts, and this is no fault to them necessarily, but a lot of experts have a lot of stuff going on, and some of them will forget to promote your thing. Even though they said way back in February that they would promote it, now we're in April and they forget. So a lot of reminding has to happen. But with a 3-week promo period, I was able to connect with people, all of my experts, on a more deeper level, and connect with them more frequently and say, here's what I'm doing. What are you guys able to do? And doing, Facebook lives and IG lives and all these kinds of things. And it was less harried and they were more vested in the process. There were a couple of my experts who were phenomenal, but they also, they promoted right before the launch. They promoted 72 hours before the launch. Trust me, this gave me an entirely different kind of heart attack. But at the same time, I understand why they did it, because their list and they understand their social following makes decisions at the very last minute. Having a longer promo period does mean, though, very nicely that you're going to be continuously talking about the thing and people will eventually see it. If you only have a 1-week promo period and you only promote twice a day for 7 days, chances are a huge swath of your audience will never see that, and you'll have less experts that are going to actually promote. So extend that promo period. I will say this, experts never care about your event as much as you do. The best experts never care about this event as much as you do, even the ones that you adore and get along with wonderfully. That's not their job to. Their job is to promote during the promo period and, show up when they need to show up. This is your baby. And so to get them on side with you, try and work on things like building up relationships with your experts. Give a crap about them and their lives. One of my experts actually had a death in her family right when promo was happening, but she still showed up. She took a little bit of time off, but she was still there. And you know what? I checked in on her quite a bit just to make sure she was okay. Having an affiliate system is a great encouragement for experts. If there's a monetary value that is directly linked to them promoting, it does increase the chances that they will. It also makes it feel like there's a little bit more value in it for them. So I suggest having an affiliate program. I gave my experts 40% of all of the affiliate sales that they were able to generate off of their links, and 10% was going to a charity. And the other 40% went to me. Sorry, 50%, pardon me, 50% went to me. Now, the other thing is I want you to be very aware is, oh my gosh, sometimes there are issues. Now, because I know how to do summits, my issues were pretty mitigated, which means there wasn't very many of them, but there were a couple. A lot of them were outside of my control. One of them was the funnel went down overnight. So my funnel actually wasn't working properly. It was capturing lead information, but it wasn't entering it into my system. And also there was a broken page link. So we struggled and this happened overnight. This happened at like 2 o'clock in the morning, apparently. And I caught it at like 6 o'clock in the morning because I had people messaging me and I was able to fix it. Now I had 3 incredible experts from Australia and New Zealand, and they were promoting overnight. And that's how we knew this thing wasn't working. So I did miss out on some leads. I did miss out on some opportunities, but we fixed it as quickly as we could. And it was literally outside of our control. It was the software. Our iDev account, which was how we were tracking our affiliates, we had a configuration problem right from day one. And it struggled to pull in the leads and connect those leads. But because we had a backup system, we used ClickFunnels for our funnel. ClickFunnels does capture leads. And so we were able to determine the leads that were coming in. We just weren't capturing who they were coming from until day 3 with our experts. But because the traffic was really, really light, because it was at the very beginning, I think it was maybe 20 leads that we weren't able to capture. But because I know who promoted, I know who those leads were attributed to, and I was able to attribute that person for those leads. And then lastly, in terms of multiple issues, we had 2 experts with link issues, but those were fixed relatively quickly. We didn't really see much of a disruption in what we were doing and how people were downloading things. So that worked as well. The other thing that I totally recommend, and you must do this in your summit, and because I did this, it really, really worked, is I had what I called a speaker promo kickoff call. A speaker promo kickoff call is where you get as many of your experts as you possibly can into a promo style Zoom room, basically, and you break down the promo period for them. You show them all the promotional materials, you hype them up on the affiliate, you hype them up on all the graphics that you've got for them, you hype them up on any gamification that you've got going on, and get them really excited about the promotional period and make sure they have everything they need. If you don't do this, you're going to get more of the dog ate my homework issue, which is I don't have my promo materials, therefore I won't promote. By eliminating all possible variables in as many ways as possible for people to say or to think that they don't have what they need, there's really zero excuse for them to promote. Now, again, I had amazing experts. I've developed amazing relationships and friendships with my experts as a result of this event, but I've seen this happen with clients. And so I wanted to make sure that that wasn't something that could ever happen with what I was doing, hence this thing. And it was great. Actually, my experts met each other. They got to know each other. By the end of it, they were bantering and creating jokes about each other. They were giving each other nicknames. It was fantastic. And then the last thing is, Speaker panels. While my event was live, I had a speaker panel every single night at a certain time. As many experts as wanted to be there, I told them they could all come. So I sometimes had 15 experts on my speaker panels, and it was great. Everybody got to talk. We had a really great banter. You know, a couple of my experts sort of took the lead on a couple of nights. There was a really great conversation one night about Facebook groups and interaction, and it was really amazing. So I highly recommend that you do that as well. So these are just a couple of the tips that I take from my event that you can possibly use to help elevate your event. And I hope that these things really do help. So thanks so much for listening. I really appreciate you being here, and check out more of the videos and also the quick tips that I'm creating. You can go for the quick tips. You can go to systemtothrive.com, and you can also find the full-length episodes that I do for the podcast System to Thrive for more actionable information. And if you're on the YouTube channel, you can check out more of my videos here on YouTube.